Alright, you monsters, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today we're going to talk about a copper bottle and what survival uses it can have for your bug bag and what you need to watch out for if you're going to buy one of these. But before we start, if you're interested in survival courses in Belgium, there will be a link to my website survivaltrainingbelgië.be and also to my book called Bloody Crosses. It's a detective, so if you're interested, take a look, I would say. So, a copper bottle. Uh, on the on the YouTube channel, I have promoted copper as a way to kill pathogens. We all seen, yeah, we all. Yeah, there are some mentions in old Egyptian text that soldiers with copper weapons put it on their wounds and they tend to survive more than and longer than the ones who didn't. Um, Copper has been used in Paris during a cholera epidemic. A doctor noticed that the persons who were less struck by the cholera were persons who work in professions which involve copper. So that's also something they noticed. And copper door handles and staircase handles were used to made out of copper. So people who touched it got less sick because bacteria and viruses didn't survive on those surfaces. But we all changed that for stainless steel because it's cheaper and less prone to be to theft and this and that. So that's the reason why copper is actually also good for bagot bag. Because if you got a mug uh, or a or a pot and you store water in it, within if you keep it for 16 hours in it, then it will have killed every pathogen inside of it. So that's the reason why I talk about this copper bottle today, because that's the same principle actually. And what also is a good thing is if you're going to drink from it and the lid or the bit where you drink from it is perhaps infected somehow. There was some splashing of dirty water during the filtering. Perhaps you touch it with dirty hands. An insect landed on it. So yeah, if you do this with a stainless bottle, there's a chance that you will get infected with something, and that can lead to diarrhea and all some sort of nasty symptoms. So but there is also a downside. Copper is harder to maintain because if I fill this up with water or make it in contact with water a lot, like during a bug out, I would say rain, mist, snow, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, then if copper starts to rust, it is like a green rust. And that is actually the part that people will say copper is poisonous for the body. Well, if it's that green rust, then yeah, that's something that you need to watch out for. So maintaining copper is essential. But you can just clean copper with either copper polish, but that's something I don't like to do with things that I drink out of. And there is also uh, a mixture of vinegar and salt that you can use to clean this chemically in a way. And that is a more natural way that you can do this. So why a copper bottle in your bug bag? Well, I would say I still prefer the stainless steel canteen bottle because I have filtering systems that work very fine. Never had really had a problem with it. But the reason why I would keep a copper bottle inside of it, there are several reasons as why it's good as a backup. First of all, you have extra water with you, so that's a good thing. Because especially during summertime, you will not only need you will definitely drink your stainless steel canteen empty. I have done it a few times during summer that I even didn't had enough for half of a day with this because carrying a backpack during summer heat over long distance, yeah, you get thirsty, but you need to replenish it and filter it at any water source that you can find. So that's a really good thing as a backup. Another thing is, if you store water inside of it, you can filter water on the go. So what you can do is, while this sits in your well, this is your main source, and this stays during the whole day in your bug bag. Then if you're going to sleep before you sleep during the night, if you want to do some task, perhaps it's extra water, perhaps it's water for cooking a meal, perhaps it's water for sanitation, then the copper will, if you carry it within 16 hours, most of the almost of all of the pathogens will be dead. So yeah, that's a good way to filter it on the go, like I said. Another thing that you can do with this is um, perhaps it sounds a little bit crude, but like I said, with the Egyptian text, if you have a wound, you can disinfect it by keeping the copper pressed against the wound. So that's another thing you can do with it. Bartering, because copper will be more valuable in the future. If you have copper and you need to do a little trade or something, perhaps you can persuade them with some copper that is more valuable now during the shit hit the fan situation or whatever. So that's another thing. And yeah, and of course drinking. If you after 16 hours are very thirsty, as a backup, drinking some purified water. But the reason why you need to watch out for these are several things. First of all, they need to be in good condition, so no rust, green rust that is forming inside of it. Otherwise, try to scrub it away with vinegar and salt or copper polish. Another thing you need to watch out for. I don't know if you can see it, but I've been going on with a sandpaper around this for a very specific reason. The reason B is there is a lot of fake copper bottles on the market, because the website said this was 100% copper. And as a skeptic that I'm always am, when I got it, I went to with some sandpaper on top of it to see if it was just not metal with a layer of copper on top of it. So, and it's pure copper, so I'm glad for it. But if you're going to buy one of these, be aware that there could be some knockoffs on the market, and yeah, that could be dangerous if you want to use it for the reasons that I intended with it. And another thing I want to mention is many people say a copper bottle weighs heavier than a metal canteen. Sure, copper is heavier than stainless steel, but the thing is, it is actually very thin. So you can, it's only like 350 grams, which is okay for a copper bottle. The heaviest part is actually the top. For some reason, that it's very thick. There was another point that I had to make. Oh yeah, you can also cook or boil water inside of this, which is very good. But another downside of it is if you cook water inside of it, or you're going to make soup in it, or whatever you're going to do with it, copper is a more will guide heat much more. It's a very good conductor. So if you are boiling with this, it will take some time, or you cannot just grab it with your hands when it's too hot. So if you're going to boil water with this, be very carefully about that, especially if you're going to drink from it and it's too hot. So yeah, that is just one of those things that I wanted to try out, and I'm actually rather happy with this. And yeah, I would say your thoughts about it in the comments. Like, subscribe, all the good things, and if you know any other thing you can do with copper, please let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn, so like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and see you in the next video.